Thank you everybody for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about why some people choose to go to college. And our core question that we're going to be answering today is, what are some of the goals that motivate me and how does this connect to college? Here's just a tiny overview about what we're going to be doing today. So we have the welcome and the icebreaker, which we just went over. We're going to be talking about stuff that like what's exciting about college. We're going to be talking about some common concerns that people may have. So some of these could look like applications are a lot of work. Some of these can look like balancing priorities while in college, adjusting to new environments, and then last but not least, the price tag of college. We're going to be joined by my moderator. So Sarah, Sarah's going to be in the chat, and Sarah's just here to just for like helping me out with like timekeeping, and we're going to have some interactive things where Sarah's going to be putting either links in the chat or uh more info about the raffle, which you guys will know about very soon. But yeah, that's what it looks like today for logistics. Feel free to turn on your camera or stay with the camera off unmuted. I really don't mind. Whatever's more comfortable for you guys is what works for me. So after we go through that, we're gonna just talk a little bit more about like personal motivations, and then we're gonna head into our closing. So yeah. Um, so without further ado, I'm gonna just introduce myself really quickly. So my name is Aya. I am a sophomore at the University of Rochester and the Eastman School of Music. So my major is a mouthful, but I'm majoring in political science and classical guitar performance on the pre-law track. Yeah, try to say that 10 times fast. But I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. It is one of the biggest parts of my identity. If you talk to me within like 3 minutes, you'll know that I was from Brooklyn. Y'all can go ahead and type where you're from in the chat if you feel like it. And then a little bit about just like me is that I'm a huge Swiftie, but I listen to a ton of different genres. I listen to classical music. I listen to hi Helen. I listen to classical music, listen to some metal, alternative rock, indie, pop, and some country. Some. I don't listen to too much country, but if a country song comes up, I'm not skipping it. But some of the artists that I've really been listening to lately, Janae Aiko, I love her. Summer Walker, The Weeknd, again, a lot of Taylor Swift. I just saw her at the Eras tour, so I'm a really big Swiftie. I'm seeing a lot of New Yorkers, nice. Also see Philadelphia and Cumberland. Okay, cool. So we have people from all over. Thanks for joining us today. So yeah, this is me. If you want to drop your favorite musical artist, you can, but other than that, we're going to be moving on from here. So before we get started, I do want to let you guys know that we will be having a raffle today. So you can have the chance to win $10, a $10 gift card. So this gift card, I believe you could spend it at a bunch of different places, so like different retail stores, but I believe you may be able to get like a little like Visa gift card or like a MasterCard gift card. And you can earn up to 3 raffle tickets today. So the first one you can get is by chatting in a response or a question, which a lot of you guys already did. You can unmute and respond to a question or keep your camera on. So these are basically the 3 criterias to be entered into today's raffle. And there are going to be a lot of opportunities for you guys to be able to reflect and share your thoughts. And the winner is going to be announced via email after the workshop. And after this, we also have a grand prize raffle. So if you attend more workshops, you get 1 point towards our annual grand prize raffle. So there's 3 winners to the grand prize raffle. The first person will win $25, the next person wins 50, and the last person wins $100. So if I were you, I'd go to these workshops. It'd be super fun. I've had a great time just preparing for the workshops, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. So we'll have a bunch more workshops after this, and I'm sure your coaches will plug all that information to you. But yeah, so here's a little bit more of an incentive to come to the workshops. So without further ado, let me just get into the rest of our sorry, I have a question in the chat. Do you have to do all of them to enter the raffle? You don't have to do all of them. I'm assuming you're talking about these. You can do either 1, all 3, 2, or none. It doesn't really matter. Sarah's going to be keeping track of who does what. And so if you've typed something in the chat so far, I believe you already should be entered into the raffle. But again, you guys have a million opportunities to be able to type something if you haven't. But yeah, so you could do none of these, all of them, whatever feels comfortable for you. But the more you do, the more chances you do have. Yeah. So I do encourage you guys to try to get as much entries as possible. Okay. So let's get into our first section. So this section, we're going to be talking a little bit more about some of the reasons why people can choose to go to college. And we're also going to be talking about some common concerns that people can have. So at the end of our workshop, the end goal here is to just kind of get you guys thinking about some things that you may have already known about, or kind of building a foundation for you guys to start thinking more about college. And we're going to start briefly touching on different sorts of college environments. You guys are all juniors, so you have a lot to think about. But you're starting really early, which is a good heads up. And we're going to be just talking about how you could find out what's right for you. So we're going to be starting by using this device website called Padlet. And I'm not sure if you guys have used Jamboard before, but it's a really similar concept. So I believe I'm going to put in the link for you guys in the chat right now. And I'm also going to screen share on my side of the screen to just kind of show you guys how it works. So you're going to go onto the Padlet and it'll look like this. It might look a little different on your end, but what you're going to do is you're going to press plus over here to answer the 2 questions that we have. So our first question is, what are some of the reasons why people decide to go to college? And then the second one is, what are some things that may intimidate people about college? And no worries if you guys see like a repetition of a certain answer. It's completely normal. And you can also engage with people's comments by liking them, so feel free to do that. But yeah, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to answer question number 1. So before we get into the second question, I just want to review a little bit of the first to just see what people are saying. So someone said to pursue a career they desire. Yeah. Some people may be forced by parents, want to complete education and get a degree. Yeah, that's a pretty popular one. To study more about their intended major. Yeah. To study a field that they enjoy and later get a job that they feel proud of. Yeah. And then our last one is to set themselves up for later in life and to study a major of interest. Yeah, these are all great questions. Typically because of their parents or based on what they want to do in the field. Yeah. I know that I wanted to go to college because I have dreams of being a lawyer, and you cannot do that without going to college. So I feel like a lot of the times college is just an investment for a long-term career. Okay, so if you guys haven't already, feel free to take a minute or two to just write in some things about the second question. So what are things that can intimidate people about college? I see some really great answers already. But yeah, feel free to add anything to that and we'll review that in like a minute or 2. So I am seeing a lot of worries about like tuition fees and student loan debt. And I just want you guys to know that your concerns are completely valid. And we will be talking a little bit more about like financial aid stuff later on in this workshop. And later on at some point next year, we're going to be having a financial aid workshop. So yeah, although it may be scary, just know we will be touching on those things to hopefully ease your anxieties a little more. But some stuff that aren't related to financial stuff that I'm seeing is being able to keep up with work, fitting in, getting to know other people. Yeah, great one. Another one is leaving home, a new environment, the application process. And a really good one that stood out to me is finding a work-life balance if the workload is more in college. That definitely is something that I was pretty scared about. But I overcame that, and I'll teach you guys a little bit more later on in the workshop about how we could overcome that. So yeah, great answers from everybody. Once again, thank you for being so engaged. And so now we're going to be getting into more into some of the concerns that you guys talked about and some of the concerns that we have here for you today. So one of the most common concerns that I hear is that college applications are a lot of work. And so we are going to be talking about it. I cannot lie to you guys, they are legitimately a lot of work, but we're also going to be giving you guys strategies that'll help you have the process just be a little less stressful for you. So anything to be able to like ease your anxiety about it. So Sarah's gonna launch a poll. And some of these may not apply to you. So if you feel like they don't apply, you don't have to answer the poll. But you can select what you think closest applies to you. And yeah, I think Sarah, you should be able to launch the poll now. Okay, yeah, I see it. Okay, so our most popular one is the SAT and ACT. I remember being super terrified of that as a junior. I applied to college kind of in COVID, is in that little weird transition period from like we're kind of in quarantine, but we're not really in quarantine. So a lot of schools that I applied to ended up being test optional. And the good news is that some of those schools continue to be test optional. Um, but Let's Get Ready does have an SAT like workshop preparation program, which will help tutor you guys in both the ELA fields of the SAT and the math fields in the SAT. So yeah, super common concern. Next part is just some important things to note. So yes, college applications definitely are a lot of work. And it's super normal to feel intimidated by that. I know that like I said before, when I was younger, I was terrified of college applications, but definitely leaning on your support system will make that significantly easier for you. And before I continue, I just got a message in the chat. So we're probably going to start with SAT assistant sometime in late January, and I believe that goes on for a couple of months. So back to what I was saying, it can be a lot of work. However, leveraging support systems definitely makes that significantly easier for everybody involved. So you'll have guidance counselors and teachers. The majority of the time, people in an academic setting, like whether that be your teachers or guidance counselors, they all went to college. And even though they've had maybe different experiences from you, they still know what the general process is like. So they're definitely great to lean on. I remember I had a teacher who I would constantly just bombard with college questions, and my college counselors were always great for that too. Another thing is family and friends. So for me personally, I am a first generation college student, so I didn't really have anybody to lean on in terms of like family for actual academic support. However, I did find that like taking breaks from college stuff for a little bit and like relying on my family just to get me outside and get me feeling good again definitely was really helpful towards the college application process. And my friends, your classmates are doing the same exact thing as you at the same pace, so they are definitely really good to just talk to and get their insights. Maybe you guys could share information. And then finally, Let's Get Ready coaches. So your Let's Get Ready coaches are the people that have been texting you, and they will continue texting you to just kind of help you out through this process. I'm also here to help out whenever needed. I will drop my email and contact information at the end of this chat. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to set up meetings with you guys if you ever have any questions, or if you want to specifically dive into a certain part of the college application process. I'm more than willing to help you guys out with that. And things are going to be a lot less stressful if you start now. I know some people wait until like the very last minute to get college applications out the way. You don't want to do that now. And I'll tell you right now, you guys are doing a pretty good thing by getting started this early. So yeah. So pro tip, a lot of the work is about getting to know yourself. So we're going to be just kind of looking at what self-reflection may feel like. So this is kind of how my journey felt like. I remember being so confused on who I was, what I wanted in life, and a lot of people feel this way. And then others kind of feel like they have it all figured out. They're like, yeah, I'm like that. Like I got it. I know what's going on. Um lots of questions come up. Some people might be like, "Oh my god, what is my life? What am I doing? What are my priorities? What I wanna do?" And it's just so hectic and overwhelming. But at the end of the day, a lot of it does feel like an adventure. For me personally, I felt like it was a roller coaster. I cried, I was laughing with happiness. It was just it was great. It was an adventure, but, everybody's gonna go on some sort of, either, like, self-adventure or just, like, an academic adventure, but, you definitely will be reflecting a lot on yourself, and it is good to reflect because college is a very personal and big decision, so it's pretty good that you're thinking about this a lot, and remember, Let's Get Ready is here to guide you through that process, and, we're just gonna be kind of just a support system for you if you ever have questions or feel concerned about anything, like, we're here to help you with that, and no question is a stupid question, to put it quite plainly. Like, I wish that I had asked more questions when I was applying to college, so feel free to ask whatever comes up on your mind, either privately in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer that. So let's move on to our next concern. So the next concern is that balancing priorities may be a little hard. Uh,
Yeah. It's only my third day out here. I don't know. Yo.
so it is true. Um, kind of getting that feel of balancing priorities at college can be kind of hard. Some people have it figured out from day one, others may struggle a little bit more with that. I definitely did a little bit. But it's really important to remember that college is completely different from high school. I had last year, my schedule in college looked like 0 classes on Monday and Wednesday and Friday, and then I had like 3 classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that was definitely something I would never have seen in high school. I was going from a schedule that was like 7 AM to 3 PM, Monday through Friday, to a college schedule that gave me a lot more free time. So that was a little challenging for me. You kind of have a new academic environment and new expectations. A lot of colleges are a little bit more rigorous than high school, so it definitely is a lot to catch up on in that sense. Um, and you might feel like you're not going to be able to balance everything. It's completely normal to feel that way, but I just want you guys to know that you will figure it out. And it's not going to be a linear journey, but I most people that I have met have by this point or by like the end of their freshman year have figured out ways to balance their social life, their life as a student, and like their work life altogether. So all your concerns are completely valid, but just remember that a lot of people do figure it out. And you're not doing it alone. So here are just some strategies for adjusting to college life. So really the key of it is just to be nice to yourself. Give yourself some time to adapt to the new world. It is going to look different from from your norm now in high school, but just remember that a lot of people are in the same exact boat as you, and it's important to be kind to yourself. Create a support network on and off campus. So this can look like creating bonds with your professors, your TAs, your residential assistants if you choose to live on campus. So this could be like some of your academic ones, and then some of your off-campus supports could be your friends, maybe your hallmates, people in your classes. Super good to just kind of put yourself out there. And using campus resources is a big one. Colleges have a lot of resources. They are required to have them there for you. And number 4 is deciding on your priorities. And we'll get into that a little more. So, creating your support system. Once you're in college, who might you be able to go to for advice about balancing academics with fun and other responsibilities? So you guys can answer this question either in the chat or feel free to come off mute and answer the question. Jasleen said a counselor. Yeah, I definitely reached out to my advisors a bunch of times during my freshman year. So if nobody else has anything, I can just get into some of the reasons that I noted. So upperclassmen are great resources to have while in college. I personally reached out to upperclassmen within my major to kind of get advice on what classes I should be taking, and like their kind of unprofessional opinion on it. It was really helpful. Um, Also, upperclassmen typically are pretty like open to giving advice. I've had a bunch of freshmen ask me about my classes, and I honestly love talking about it. So don't ever feel like you might be a burden, but when asking, um, a lot of college is about people trying to help each other out. So some other people that you could talk to are your professors. All your professors are required to have office hours, and so that's just a time where you can utilize asking questions, um, kind of figuring out something for you academically. If you're struggling, there's always ways to go about that. Academic advisors, so these are people that are their entire job is to help you get through college, so definitely utilize them. The school counseling center, a lot of schools offer free counseling for people. Staff at identity-based centers on campus, so this could look like Office of Minority Student Affairs, this could look like religious centers, this could look like a bunch of different things that really just works for your identity. And then finally, let's get ready coaches and tip sheets. So your coaches will be a support system. I still have a coach and I'm in my sophomore year of college. And it's always really helpful to just get text from my coach being like, hey, like, did you register? Did you pay your semester bill? So it's just really nice to have that support system from Let's Get Ready. And here's just a little bit more of some of the things that may help you for some resources. So, like I said before, colleges put a lot of money into resources that help students succeed, can it help improve your quality of life, and just really just there to support you. So this can include workout facilities. My school has pretty nice ones. We have like a full indoor track, and a lot of colleges do offer free gyms for their students. Tutoring centers. I've utilized tutoring before in the past. A lot of my friends have. Um, the tutoring center is a great place to be. Academic advising, like I touched on briefly before, paid for you to be there. A student health center, so if whenever you're feeling under the weather, they're there for you, and then mental health services. It's pretty easy to kind of get overwhelmed in college. I know my freshman year, I definitely felt a little bit more overwhelmed, but thankfully my school had social workers that were able to see you for free, and that helped ease a lot of my anxieties. So, the next thing we're going to be talking about is deciding on your priorities in college. So, you may be thinking to yourself, why do I need to know about what my priorities in college are? Surely it'll be academics. This is not always the case. So, while academics obviously will be a priority, they probably won't be your only priority, and sometimes they might not be your number one priority. So here's just some examples I put. Sometimes people can care more about gaining professional experience to improve their resume. I know for me, I've really been encouraged to go find internships. I've been encouraged to go find internships, talk to professors to do research with them. And so this is just something that can be a priority to people. Another thing is building relationships with potential mentors. So, like I said before, upperclassmen are always great resources. A lot of schools have something called alumni databases where you're also able to talk to somebody who graduated the college. And I've reached out to a couple of lawyers through that, and they're always more than happy to kind of give me their insight on stuff. Creating community and lifelong relationships. I have met some of my greatest friends in college, and I love them dearly, and they definitely have helped me be more grounded during college, and I would not trade that for the world. And then the fourth thing is having new experiences and expanding your horizon. I have tried a bunch of different foods since coming to college. I've taken different classes. I've sat in on different classes. So there are a lot of things that I tried. And honestly, throughout college, my priorities shifted a bunch. I kind of prioritized building relationships first with like my academic support system, so like my professors and stuff. But as time progressed, I realized that it's really important to start building more professional experience with like potential employers. So if there's anything that stands out to you guys from this list or something that you really want to get out of college, feel free to put that in the chat. Marissa said being able to try new things for sure. Probably also experiencing life on my own. Yeah, college is the first time that a lot of people are away from home for the first time. And so it's very scary but it's also really fun at the same time. I like to say that the good news is that you're on your own. Um, and that could also be the bad news for some people is that you're on your own, but a lot of the times you will figure it out. Creating community. Yeah, Katie, that's a really good one. Like I said before, both academic communities and social communities are just really good for you to be in touch with yourself. And Jocelyn, you said, is Rochester good with financial aid or not really? The University of Rochester has something called need-based financial aid. Hi, Ashley. So, sorry, back to what I was saying. The University of Rochester has need-based financial aid. So, what this means is that they're going to be meeting 100% of your demonstrated need. And we're going to get into that a little bit later into the topic. But personally, for my school, um, they gave me a full ride scholarship. So, it's super easy and affordable for me to be here. And a lot of my friends are also on decent financial aid. But we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later on. For now, we have a 5-minute break, so feel free to go get a drink of water, use the bathroom, do what you need to. And for anybody that joined late, I just want to let you guys know that we do have a raffle for today. We have a $10 raffle. So if you want to get inputted into this raffle, you could type a question into the chat, unmute yourself, or put your camera on. And that's how you can have the chance to win $10. But other than that, feel free to go take a break, guys. Yeah, let's get into concern number 3. Just want to let you guys know, since I see financial aid is a pretty popular topic, right after this section, we have a section on financial aid, so we are going to be getting into that. So concern number 3, being in a new environment. So college is a huge transition, not only academically, but also socially and emotionally. It is really, really hard for a lot of people to kind of leave like their families, friends, significant others in their high school community. For some people definitely cling on to like home for them. But others are really optimistic and excited towards I guess experiencing a new life. I know for me, when I graduated high school, I was so ready to get out of there and start my college experience. But on the other hand, I had some friends that were really sad to leave. And while I was sad to leave, I definitely felt like I needed that new environment. So we're just gonna be talking about a little bit of things. Sorry, we're just gonna be talking about a little bit about what it looks like to be in a new environment. So this doesn't only have to be if you want to like go away for college and live in a dorm. This could also be like if you're commuting. Um, so we all have different desires and needs in life. So the environment that is right for each of us will vary based on the following things. So that can be goals, values, identities, life experiences, personality, preferences, physical and or mental health, mental needs. So yeah, depending on a lot of these, you want to think about what kind of environment you want your college to cater to. I know for me personally, I really wanted a college that would have an influx of different people, so people from all different walks of life. I really wanted something with a lot of diversity, and although my school is predominantly white, we still have people that we have somewhere for everybody, which is what I really enjoy about my school. And yeah, if you have something that you think would go nicely with this list, if there's something else that you that's a need for you, feel free to list it. So moving on, we're gonna be in breakout groups. Sarah, if you could do the breakout groups, that'd be nice. I'm not sure how to do it on my end. But it's going to be a quick section about like 6 minutes. You're gonna be introducing yourself. We're going to be talking about what your high school community is like, what do you like about it, and what do you want to be similar in college. And then you're also just going to be talking about something that you feel that you want to be different in college. So that's the 3 things you're going to be talking about. And Sarah just put them in the chat so you can refer back to them. But yeah, feel free to join the breakout rooms now. And then when the breakout rooms close, I'm just going to be asking you guys to share. If anybody wants to, could somebody share share some interesting insight that they gained from this conversation. So you could either talk about what's something that you learned about your peers or just anything that you were talked about really.
I think, like, based on, like, what school you went to or the size of your school, it kinda depends on, like, certain things that you want for college. I think it really does affect more than you would think, so that's the insight I got from it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I my graduating class in high school was 78 people. My current class right now is about 1,500 people, so that was a pretty big transition for me that I was scared of, and yeah, that comes up a lot more frequently than you would think. Yeah, thanks, Marissa. Does anybody else have anything that took away from this?
Um, I was also in the same breakout room as Marissa, and we were completely opposite. She said that her school is pretty diverse and large, but for me, my school's pretty small. We only have like sorry, yeah, 300 kids and 500 kids and 130 in our class. So I feel like in college, I would I like my small school because I have access to my guidance counselor, but I would also like a larger school so I can meet new people.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. My high school was so small that everything would get around so quickly, and it was not my favorite thing. I felt like I was seeing the same people every day, and, yeah, that can get a little annoying at times. But yeah, really good point. That actually perfectly transitions us into our next, topic. Thank you everybody for sharing. I hope you guys enjoyed the groups. So our next thing we're going to talk about is mission-driven schools. So these are schools that just specifically cater to a certain type of people. So some of these can look like historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, for short. We have religious colleges. So these are colleges with any form of religious affiliations. We have colleges for the deaf and hard of hearing. And then we also have historically single-sex universities. So I know there are a lot of New Yorkers I saw in the chat, and, St. Francis College is a college in Brooklyn, which is a Hispanic serving institution. And basically what this means is that at least 25% of their undergraduate population is Hispanic. So a lot of these colleges tend to be more diverse in that aspect. And Sarah is gonna drop a tip sheet just so you guys can get more of like a feel of what some of these colleges are and where they are. Yeah. So on the flip side, we have predominantly white institutions, and sometimes historically single-sex colleges or like religious colleges sometimes do tend to be predominantly white, but predominantly white institutions or PWIs are colleges that have, well, in the name, like it suggests, they're predominantly white. So for those who went to high school in a little bit more of a diverse area or were always like surrounded about with people of similar backgrounds as them, this can come as a huge culture shock. For me, my school has a 2% Black population, 1% Latino, and then a couple few more percentages of like Native American and others. And so it was definitely really shocking for me to come into like a school in New York City that was like top 10 in diversity to go to a PWI. So a lot of these schools may feel like they censor whiteness. Y- um, Students with various identities may feel marginalized on some campuses. It's completely normal to feel this way at times. Every college is different and it has its own like unique school culture. Um, Students of colors can definitely feel different ways around attending PWIs. Some are fine with it, some tend to have more difficulties. It's just really important for this to be something to reflect on, like we talked about earlier. So definitely ask yourself um, if this is something that you are willing to go through. Unfortunately, a lot of the times, the top like private schools tend to be PWIs, so you are more than likely going to apply to a PWI in your time. But just remember that no matter where you choose to go, there are going to be support systems for you that are identity based. Um, There are over 5,000 colleges and universities in the US, and every single one of them is at least required to have some form of person who stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So my school has a Office of Minority Student Affairs, which works very closely with all of the minorities on campus. We also have a center for first generation students. We have a center for queer students. And there just really is a lot of opportunities for me to feel at home at a PWI. So I just want you guys to remember that no matter where you go, don't feel discouraged of going to a school because it's a PWI. Like you definitely will have a support system no matter where you go. Yeah. So we're gonna be talking a little bit more about just like some student support groups. So some of these, I'm just gonna list off some of them. Some of them that I have at my school, at least, we have a disability resource center, we have an LGBTQ resource center, we have a bunch of spiritual life stuff, we have political clubs, we have sports teams and recreational sports clubs. Um, and then we have stuff that has to do with like cultural stuff. So we have a Black student union, we have like a Hispanic student union, we have a Middle Eastern student union. Hi, Rodrigo. We're just talking about some campus groups right now. And then we also have one for first gen students. So take a moment to just reflect on something in this list that resonates with you. You don't have to share this one out. You can write it down silently, or you could chat it in if you feel like it, or you could send it to me through a private chat. But this definitely is something that I want you guys to look at for a little longer and just see if any of these could be helpful for you or if you see yourself being involved with any of these. Thanks for all the private answers, guys. I definitely am reading them, and all of these are valid. Okay, so our next concern that we're going to cover, college is expensive. So we're gonna just begin to talk about financial aid stuff. Just want to remind you guys that we'll have an entire workshop dedicated to college affordability later on. But the goal of talking about it now is to just kind of help you guys think about cost as you're building a college list. So we're gonna start to think about how we can include like affordable options for us. So
Today. Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
So that's how I felt looking at my school's tuition price. So my school's tuition price is roughly 84 grand a year, 86 grand a year. Completely insane to me. This is Syracuse University. It's a pretty popular university, upstate New York. And so the tuition is $61,000 here at Syracuse. The housing is $18,000 here. Miscellaneous fees come up to around $2,000. Everything else is $2,000, a couple $100, health insurance, $3,000. So this is a lot of money, but it's very scary. But it's really important to know that this is almost never the price that you are going to pay, and we're going to break that down. So we have something called sticker prices. So a sticker price is what we just saw. A sticker price is what, oh, sorry about that. A sticker price is what the college basically puts out there for students. Like that's what will eventually end up getting paid. Even though you're not going to pay that, that's like what they have published. And so to kind of help offset that, there are scholarships and grants. So scholarships are awarded based off of like your academic your academic stuff. So if you get higher grades, you're probably going to be eligible for like merit-based scholarships. And so that helps you pay for it. Another thing that I was talking about a little earlier is need-based grants. So grants are basically money that you don't have to pay back. Sometimes they can be scholarships, sometimes they aren't. It just really depends on the school. But yeah, most of the time grants are just given to you by the school. It's like financial aid that's provided. And then so after the sticker price and the grants are calculated, that's when you have your net price. This is what you're actually going to end up paying. So a lot of the times you might be scared that your net price isn't going to like you might not be able to afford it, but I have friends that attend Syracuse University, and this is their sticker price, the $85,000. However, my friends only pay roughly $1,000 a semester to attend Syracuse, which is a great deal. And they are low income, and they thought that they'd never be able to afford the school, but thanks to a lot of these financial aid programs, they can. I also want to talk about that you can pay for college with loans. A lot of the times it's not students' first options. It's tends to be like you consider loans after you subtract scholarships and then grants. But it's super normal to take out loans. A lot of my friends have taken out loans. I've taken out small loans as well, and we're just gonna get into that a little bit more. Um, so for a large percentage of students, student loans are necessary to help afford college. I don't want this to discourage you guys. It definitely is way more normalized in college that people are taking out loans. And so you might feel a little scared when it comes to talking. Oh, sorry. You might feel a little bit scared when it comes to just like mentioning loans. I know it was like terrifying for me, but I just want to mention that it's not as scary as it may seem, and a lot of people do have to take them out. But there are tons of strategies for minimizing student loans and college debt. So the biggest part of this is finding and building an affordable college list. So this could be looking at colleges with need-based financial aid. This could be looking at colleges with lower tuition prices. You just kind of want to look for colleges that you know you're going to be able to financially afford. And our July college affordability workshop, we're going to be discussing this more in depth, but for right now we just have like a little overview of it. And also student loan forgiveness is a really, really big conversation in politics right now. And that's probably going to be an ongoing thing for the next couple of years. So might want to check out just like local like the most recent updates on what student loan forgiveness may look like, because some people got tens of thousands of loans forgiven. So here's what can make colleges affordable. So, first of all, we have low sticker price schools. So these can be community colleges. A lot of community colleges tend to be completely affordable. Most of the time, you're able to afford community college with a financial aid grant that's given to you by the government. So a lot of the times, people that are attending community college pay little to nothing to go there. Similarly, we have public in-state schools, so this could just look like your schools that end in state university. So we have Penn State University. For my New Yorkers, we have CUNY's, which is the City University of New York, and then we have the State University of New York. So those are just some schools that we have. Then we have low tuition schools, which are schools with lower tuition prices, and then we also have tuition-free schools. They're rare, but they do exist. In New York State, we have a program called the Excelsior Scholarship, which if your family makes less than $125,000 a year, you're able to attend a public school with a $0 tuition. So make sure to look into what programs your state offers, and also feel free to shoot me an email again with what state you live in, and I will do my best to send you any links I may be able to find and information I can find on programs in your state. You also want to look at schools that meet 100% of your financial aid, like the University of Rochester does. Syracuse University also does that. And for anyone that's undocumented, there are colleges that meet 100% of demonstrated need for even undocumented students. So definitely don't let your citizenship status kind of scare you away from that. And then there are also schools, like I talked about, with really large full ride scholarships that you can get from your grades. Yeah. So, Jesseline, I will take down that question to answer it in my email I'm going to send to you. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'll send you the link once I have it. Okay. So, moving on from financial aid stuff, we're going to talk about some of your personal college motivators. So the goal of the next couple minutes is just to get a clear idea of why we want to go to college. And I want to start off by saying that everybody's why is going to be different. Your reason for college may change as you progress, but I just want you guys to keep that in mind. So we have two sorts of motivations. We have something called intrinsic motivation, which is everything you see on this little character right here. So that could be pride, interest, achievement, and curiosity. So these are all internal factors of and motivators as to why you may want to go to college. And then we have extrinsic motivation. So this could be your grades, this could be maybe punishment or pressure from parents, this could be praise, whether that's academic validation, self-validation, and then a big one for a lot of people is money. And so all of these are valid. It is completely okay and normal to feel motivated by both of these. I know that unfortunately, I felt a little bit more pressure to go into college by like my family, but although it was overwhelming, it still at the end of the day could have been really helpful for me. But just want you guys to know that all of these are normal. It is completely okay to feel all these emotions all at once, but the most important thing is just finding a good balance between them, and knowing how to make yourself happy long term. So we are going to talk about like your personal why. Oh, so you're gonna take five-ish minutes, maybe I think, to just think about what your personal whys are. So think about whether you want to go to college for personal growth, community service, maybe your family, or societal expectations. So basically everything that we spoke about in the beginning of our Padlet section. But yeah, you have roughly like 4 minutes to do this. Turn your camera off, do whatever you need to, but just sit silently and reflect on this. Welcome back. I hope you guys got a good, I hope you guys were able to reflect a little bit on this. So our next activity for this part is just going to be going into some breakout rooms and sharing as you feel comfortable what motivations that you felt really do motivate you. And here are the questions that you're going to be answering. Yeah, Sarah put them in the chat and I also put them in the chat. But yeah, introduce yourself, share what stood out, and Sarah will launch the breakout rooms right now. So we're gonna be in them for a couple minutes. Someone said future career was definitely our number one. Yeah, tends to be a lot of the time. Then Justine said, for me, extrinsic motivation is my family, but my intrinsic motivation, which is to pursue a career in the med field, overshadows my extrinsic. Yeah, that's completely normal. A really good insight, everybody. Thank you for sharing. Someone wanted to join the military and be a physician. Yeah, a lot of the ROTC people at my school are also pre-med at the same time. God knows how they do that, but it's a pretty common goal actually. Very rewarding field too. But yeah, thanks everybody for sharing. So here's just some things to remember about personal motivation and stuff. So it is okay to care about both internal and external motivators. I know, like I said before, like my parents definitely pressured me a little bit more to make sure I'm getting into college and applying, but I think I would have wanted to either way. And I just want you guys to remember that what's most important to you is what matters most. And while it's good to take your parents' insight or like your friends' insights into account, at the end of the day, it's going to be you that is going on this new journey. You're going to be the one taking your classes. You're going to have to do all the assignments assigned to you. So, although it may feel natural, that you want to listen to the people that you love, just remember that you are your decision maker at the end of the day. You're making the decisions that are right for you, and your decisions should feel right for you. But yeah, thanks everybody for sharing. So that's all of our workshop. So today we talked about some of you guys' concerns related to college, and how we can navigate that. So this is just the beginning of all the conversations that are to be had. We have a lot more to be had. I'm going to drop my email right now to for you guys to be able to email me with any questions that you may have. If you guys want to meet up for like a Zoom meeting and talk more about something that we discussed today, I would love to do that with you guys. So that's my email in the chat. Make sure to attend our next workshop. We're going to be talking a little bit more about how to get ready for college applications. And then feel free to share your feedback right now. Feedback definitely helps us a lot. Sarah's going to put in a link so that you guys can share your feedback. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to stay on for 3 to 4 more minutes to just answer any questions that come up, but thank you guys for attending. Feel free to hop off now, and look out for an email for workshop winners for the raffle. And yes, this presentation will be shared for future reference. You guys will have access to the recording, I believe. And we also have 3 more workshops this week. So if you want to review anything again, feel free to join my Wednesday workshop. And we have our other core coach facilitator, Angela, who's going to be presenting the same exact thing on Tuesday and Thursday. But yeah, thanks for the questions.